1 year ago, I did a Draw My Life video documenting some of the most important parts of my life up to summer 2013. If you haven't seen that yet, there's a link in the description so you can watch it before this one. As for now, I'm going to pick up where I left off in that video with me graduating from university in June last year. Fresh out of university, I was fortunate enough to have an entire summer off from any responsibilities, and I made the most of it by packing in as much fun as possible. To kick things off, I headed out to Los Angeles to stay with my friend Joey Graceffa for a week. Having been there plenty of times before, it was great to experience LA for the first time with a local. We did a lot of fun things like horse riding, going to the zoo, visiting San Diego for 4th of July, and going to loads of yummy restaurants, including having too many cheesecakes at the Cheesecake Factory, my favourite restaurant in case you hadn't guessed already. After a few weeks back in England, doing very little other than filming some videos, going to my university graduation, and enjoying having no schoolwork to worry about for the first time in a long time, I went back to LA for VidCon, a massive YouTube gathering that happens every year. It was amazing to meet so many of you guys for the first time, and it was pretty overwhelming just how many of you there were that came up to say hi. It was definitely a cool experience. Another long ass flight back to less sunny England again, and it was time for another YouTube gathering. This time it was Summer in the City in London. Once again, I had a great time catching up with lots of YouTubers and meeting loads more of you guys too. I also helped out at this one as it's my friends who run the event. One of my roles was greeting and checking in YouTubers and guests as they arrived. The one thing that I look back on and find quite funny is that I welcomed and checked in the Vamps when at the time I had no idea who they were or that they would go on to have a massive success over this past year. But then the weekend was gone in a flash with only a vlog to remember it by. With T-minus 6 weeks of freedom remaining, I had a stab at making the most of it with some more amazing experiences, such as going to the One Direction film premiere, where on the red carpet I ambushed Tom and Dougie from McFly to get them to be in my vlog. I then went to a music festival where I got to watch McFly, as well as Union J and JLS, perform from behind the stage, and I managed to get Union J to do a Chubby Bunny style interview with me. Then finally I finished the summer by going to Portugal for an amazing relaxing holiday with my family. But then unfortunately, summer was over. It was time to do what I thought I was supposed to do and enter the world of full-time work. So I started an IT consulting job in October last year. The first 2 weeks were actually a lot of fun, as whilst we were training for the job, I got to stay in various hotels, one of which caught fire while I was there, which was not so fun, and eat 3 big meals a day all on the company's dime, which I certainly made the most of. But then I went straight into the office and the novelty soon wore off. I found it incredibly difficult to find the motivation to make YouTube videos whilst I only had a few hours free in the evenings, and so my YouTube channel began to suffer. There were still a few fun things I managed to bunk off work for towards the end of the year, such as taking part in the YouTube Music Awards, presenting for 2 hours as part of Stickade, a 24-hour live show on YouTube, and I even spent a few days in Paris with some fellow YouTubers, all of which were great fun. In January of 2014, I was able to finally move to London, something that I'd been hoping to do ever since moving back from university in the summer. It was great to be so close to so many of my favourite places and friends. The weeks continued to whiz by and I continued to get more and more bored of work, until in February I'd finally built up enough courage and savings in the bank, very important, to give going full-time YouTube a chance and quit that job. Things were off to a great start and I was back to enjoying life again. I was able to start making videos regularly once more, and soon enough it was time for Playlist Live, another YouTube gathering that happens in Florida every March. Lots of British YouTubers went to this one too, and coincidentally loads of us were on the same flight out there, which lightened the burden of travelling such a long way. Aside from the YouTube gathering, we made the most of our time in Florida by visiting some of Universal Studios and Disneyland theme parks, which were great fun. I'd been to Florida quite a few times as a kid when I was about 6 to 10 years old, so it was nice to relive some old memories and revisit theme parks that I'd held so fondly in my bank of childhood memories. I'd even been to the hotel we were staying in once before, so my parents told me, and I did have a few flashbacks whilst there. In the months since then, I've been very lucky in other opportunities I've had, all thanks to you guys supporting me on here, such as going on stage in front of 5,000 people at DigiFest, yet another YouTube event, doing a water jetpack experience, which by the way was one of the most fun things I've done in a long time, doing a sports car driving experience where I got to race around a track with G-forces I've never experienced before, and finally I spent a nice amount of time chilling on my balcony, something that I wholeheartedly recommend doing once in a while. So there we go, that was my past year. I've made a playlist of vlogs and videos that I made about many of the experiences I mentioned in this video in more detail, so do click here to check that out next. Also, please click the like button down below to let me know if you've enjoyed this video, because it does really help out. All of the photos in this video are from my Instagram, so follow me on there if you want to see more snaps of what I'm doing in the future. And if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing every day, do please follow me on Twitter as well. But otherwise, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!